Well, here we go. If it wasn't for bad luck, I probably wouldn't have any at this point. But this is relatively new. I mean, I bought this maybe a year ago. Yeah, about a year. I bought this after I put on the Edition, and I put this on last year. So it's about a year old. Let's say a year old. I think it was last year. So anyway, this is about a year old. So over the last couple of times using it, it didn't want to cut straight. Just doesn't want to cut straight. So when I started looking, it had a guide holder, and the guide holder holds these little stainless steel bearing wheels type things, all done with Allen keys, so you can adjust the tension, the guide, the straight, and so on and so forth. So I was looking at it, and I said, well, gee, it looks pretty good. And I went to touch it. It usually fits right in that hole right there, which I don't know if you're seeing or not, but there's a hole right there. And it came out, and there's wheels attached to it. And one went on one side of the blade, one went on the other side of the blade, and one went behind the blade, so you can't push the blade back. So, make a long story short, I went to check the guide wheels, and the whole thing was shaking, which means it was loose in here. So I go around the other side, and I'm looking on the other side, and I'm looking, and I'm looking, and I'm looking, and after looking to see I don't see anything in the hole, I'm saying, well, maybe this Allen screw came out. So at that point, I started looking for something that would fit, and not finding anything that would fit, I decided, well, you know what? The light isn't that good over here. Let me get a flashlight over here and look to see what the thread is and see if I have. Well, lo and behold, the screw was in there. So at that point, that's where I'm at. So I went to tighten it, and it was tight. So I said, well, let me loosen it. So I loosen it, and I wanted to pull the piece out to see if maybe the cam was worn a little bit, because it had a little flat stock on it so that the set screw would lock it in. When I went to pull it out, it broke in my hand. The shaft that held it into that hole that the Allen key was holding into place snapped. It just made it that, you know, that white cast. You know, it's real soft crap. So I said, all right. So I took all the bearings out, because naturally you got to buy every part separately. You know, I go to E-Parts, by the way. E-Replacement Parts. They have everything for some reason. So anyway, I go there and I look it up on their website, and they have it. It's called the Guide Assembly, or the Guide Holder. I'm sorry, it's called the Guide Holder. And this is on the E Replacement Parts. And if we look up here, it is, you're probably not going to see it here, but let me see. It is right there, and that little, it's that little block right there, if you're seeing it or not, on the right hand side. Anyway, I call them up. They tell me it's no longer available. What? What do you mean it's no longer available? And the saw's not even a year old. I bought it brand new at Home Depot. It's not available. Oh. Well, let me give you their number. So I call up Ryobi Parts. I call them up at the number that was given me. 800-525-2597. Push number 1 for parts. Guy gets on the phone. Ryobi Parts. I tell him the part I need. Doesn't ring a bell to him. He goes to the E Replacement Parts to see what I'm talking about, because that's their biggest parts distributor or dealer. He says, oh yeah. He goes, okay, now I see what it is. Let me type it in. Types it in. Says that part is no longer manufactured. I go, what do you mean it's no longer manufactured? I said, what am I supposed to do here? He says, I don't know what to tell you. He says, you know, you may have bought it brand new, but it's an old saw. I go, well, wait a minute. I bought it brand new at Home Depot less than a year ago, more like 9 months ago. I says, can't be used without it. What do I do? He goes, call Ryobi Direct. Give me the number. He gives me the same number. I said, I just called that number. He goes, yeah, but you got to hit extension 2, then hit extension 2 on the second menu. He says, and that'll put you into the warranty department. So basically, I'm talking to Ryobi parts, and they're saying they don't have the part anymore, and they're saying they're not, you know, they're a reseller, or whatever the case may be. Meanwhile, they're pulling my chain because they are. Just I had the parts department. He goes, well, if it's still at that point, you know, less than a year old, it's still under warranty. He goes, so send it in with a copy of the receipt, you know, and we can fix it under warranty. Maybe. I go, wait a minute. Send it in. You want me to box up this saw, send it to you. It'll cost me more for shipping than it did for the saw. All right? And if it's under warranty, if you have the part, why can't you just send me the part? And I'll put it on myself. No, you got to send it back for warranty. I said, are you listening to yourself here, guys? You know? So, long story short, this isn't going to work. I'm going to have to make something, which I can do. It's not a big deal. However, I'm going to have to buy another saw because I won't be able to use this one for any precision cuts. I just see that happening right now. My other thing is, I will never buy another Ryobi, whatever you want to call it, again. When Home Depot is still selling their product that they haven't got parts for, that's been discontinued, that tells me a lot about them as well as Home Depot. You know, there's no reason why I should have to send that back to get it fixed under warranty when they can send me the part that they have to fix it under warranty, but they don't have it to sell me if I want it. So basically, I can't get the part. Makes sense, huh, guys? So I'm gonna have to buy another one. I'll buy a brand name. I mean, a good brand name. You know, I don't know, maybe a DeWalt or something a little bit better. We'll see what's out there when I go to look. You know, the thing is, I don't use it a lot. You know, I may have used that. Well, I use it more than I think, probably. I probably use that at least once a week to cut something. So at that point, you know, it's just one of those things. All right, so much for them. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, this is the old side. This used to be the shop, and it's still going to be, and it still is. I just cleared the big vinyl, not the vinyl, but the large laminating machine off there. Cleaned it up a little bit, cleaned the window, painted the trim a little bit just to get something on there because, you know, it's just dusty and old, so I don't care what color it is, just get it done. And this is going to be part of a counter, a work counter. Over here I'm going to have the drill press. And I don't know, I may look for a small wood lathe or I don't know, I'm going to see. Again, I haven't had a need for one, but I can find a need. You know, there's a few things sometimes that you say, you know, you wish you had it. But again, I don't know. The bandsaw is going to be more important to me. So a drill press, a bandsaw, and a good saber saw. I have a saber saw that the wife bought me years ago, and it works. However, for some reason, I can only find one type of blade for this thing. And, you know, that's it. So I got to look into it a little bit more. I don't understand why I can only find one type of blade. So I got to take it one step at a time. So I may buy another saw. So that's 3 items that I'm going to be purchasing that will end up over there. Now that was up here. That I hardly use. See, so if I was able to buy another blade, that would be the way to go. You know, just keep it because I don't use it enough. I don't use it enough to really justify another one, but you know, I mean, sometimes if I had the other blades, I would probably use it more. But that's about it with that. So that's where I'm at. So I was also wanting to get another belt belt sander, 4-inch, that 1.5 or 2-inch, whatever it is there. That works fine. I use it a lot. The 4-inch I can see myself using with a 7 or an 8-inch wheel on the side, more so. So this is going to be left there for now. I'll repair it, you know, so that it'll at least be safe to work, and have some type of guidance on the blade. That I'll probably leave there for now, but eventually that's going to be cleared off, and I'll see what I'm going to do with that right there, but I don't know yet. A few shells in there would help, but that's what I'm working on. So over here, like I said, back on the cider shop, that's going to have the drill press and another bandsaw and possibly another saber saw. This side of the bench has the grinder on it, which is there. I'm going to leave it there. The vise, which is a heavy-duty old-time vise. I mean, this thing is old. I don't know how old, but this has been here since the guy built the house, so this was his. It was probably given to him from his father. It's just an old vise. It's there. It's stable. It's in strong. I'm just going to leave that there. So these two pieces will probably just stay here. I don't know. This piece is basically just built in place. I got to decide if I want to keep this here or put this someplace else. I don't use it a lot, to be honest with you. I use it most of the time for polishing my boots, or sometimes polishing jewelry or something. I don't use it all that much, to be honest with you. So that may just stay there. If it doesn't get in the way, that's what I'll do. If not, maybe I'll put it on a board or some sort and find a home for it. The center is always going to be open because I need it for the chop saw. So the center will always be open. The bottom will always be open because I store wood in there in the wintertime. So, and that's where we're at. So, and then this mess. Yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah, this mess. I got to get that cleaned up. And what I'm thinking of doing this summer is moving that space heater, furnace, whatever you want to call it, it is gas, moving that, because that'll give me that whole corner for benches as well. Moving that down here more towards the center of the shop, and getting somebody to help me and put it up, because I can get in the attic to do some reinforcing. So that's what I'm thinking about doing there. Alright, and if I do, it'll probably go up right around here, because that's the only shelf I have up there, and I'm not using that shelf a whole hell of a lot. So to have it up there would be okay, not a big deal. So that's what I'm thinking of doing with that. So those are some of the plans to free up some space, to neaten it up, to give me more bench space, give me room to get my my other tools in play, and taking it one step at a time. I really want to keep the Bowflex here and the bike, because I do use them, and if I don't have them here in front of me, I won't use them. So until they really get to a point to where they're in my way, they're going to stay there. As you can see right now, it's holding a box. I haven't been on that in about 3 days, so I got to get those boxes off there. And then I got a TV out there I got to put on the curb, give that away. And and I got this computer I got to put away. I'm not using it, but it's a good computer, so I just got to find a place to put it. And then I also have this little section right here. At one time this was going to be a gun cleaning area, because I just didn't care if I got messy or not. But now I'm thinking I can use this for other things, other power tools. If I were to get a lathe or something, or add something to the collection here, this would be a good place for it, you know, because right now it's just boxes of wire, you know, and down here there's just paint stuck under it. So all this could be put out in the other little shed out there, because I really don't need it all there. So that's where we're at, guys. That's what's going on with the agenda or my agenda for the summer. First problem though, first priority is getting the power fixed. And that is going to be soon. I actually asked the wife if she thinks I should do something this weekend. If it's going to be nice enough out, even though we'll end up with a lot of mud. But, you know, it may be worth just to dig it up and get it over with and see what I have and get it all connected into one circuit. So that's what I'm thinking about doing. All right, guys. I don't want to bore you anymore. I'll catch you later.